Hey guys, it's Johnny with Paso Tool Rental. Today we're going to be going over the basic operation and troubleshooting of a standard regular chainsaw. What I mean by standard and regular, I mean gas powered. First things first, coming around here we have the gas tank. This one is 40 to 1. There is 50 to 1 and 25 to 1 fuel mixtures. And if you're unsure about that, it's usually written either on the inside or the outside. And if you still can't find it, just please call a store associate and ask. And we do sell the fuel mixtures inside, and we prefer that you use ours. Second thing to check is bar oil. Not a lot of people check this. It's going to be here in the front usually. And you just want to make sure that you have some sitting around in there. If you are running low on bar oil, please let us know and we will refill it. Now, basic operations. First things first, you want to make sure that you have the chain lock on. Backwards is off, forwards is on. So we're going to go ahead and put that on, and that's just to protect us while we're starting it so nothing happens and this chain doesn't get loose or we don't hurt ourselves. Next thing you want to do is come here, push up on the start button. Is your on off. Most chainsaws are going to have different kinds of ons off. Some of them have momentary off switches, which means you have to hold them down to turn them off, and when they're not pressed in, it's ready to start. For this one, it's an up down, so we're going to go ahead and put it in the up position. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull on the choke here until it's fully back. Then we're going to give it a pull, and as you can hear, it kind of growled at you, and that's how you know it's ready to start. You're going to go ahead and put the choke in. This is technically half choke. So as you can see here, it started at half choke, and once it starts, it actually starts accelerating in order to warm up the engine. And once you're ready to get going, you just give it a quick push and it'll drop the accelerator and it'll idle normally. So let's go ahead and hear that idle. Okay, so that's normal idle. Next step would be to remove the chain lock and to go ahead and start cutting. Now when we start cutting, a few things we want to take into consideration is wear proper protection. Things like face shields, safety glasses. My glasses are PPE rated. You might also want to be wearing steel toe shoes, as things can fall on you while you're cutting. And just be mindful of what you're cutting and the things that are around you. When you're going to get into the cut, it's important to not accelerate the throttle all the way, or you will create smoke and you won't be cutting anything really. You want to cut it, you want to have the throttle in a point where you can feel the teeth biting into the wood, and that's dependent on which chainsaw sizes and how hard the wood is. And the last thing that you want to check before you start cutting is your chain tension. Now as you can see, I have here about 1/4 of an inch of play, and that's about how much you want to have between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch while it's we say cold, and when it's hot you don't want it to go over 1/4 of an inch, or you'll have some chain slippage and you could actually have the chain fall off. In order to tighten the chain, come here, loosen these bolts just a little bit, and then most chainsaws are going to have a screw right here with one way tightening it and one way loosening it, and just tighten that until you reach, like I said, 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch. So let's go ahead and start it. I'll show you how to properly cut, and then I'll show you what happens if you accelerate too hard, and you'll actually see the smoke come up from a bad cut. So really quick, since it's already warmed up, no need to use the choke or fuel injection. Give it a pull. Take off the lock. Okay, so you saw how it kind of dug into it, and there was a little bit of smoke, but not too much. The main point is that you want to exert a little bit of pressure and help your chain out when it comes to cutting. If you don't put any pressure, of course, it's not going to cut at all. And let me show you what that looks like with over accelerating and too much pressure. So if you're seeing that much smoke, and if you're seeing that much charring on the wood, you're either accelerating it too hard or you're not pressing down hard enough. And then some troubleshooting tips. If you notice it's hard to start, one of the things you could do is, if it's flooded, turn it on, turn the choke off, and just keep pulling it until you burn out all the gas and repeat the starting process over. Another thing is, if it's really, really cold, you're going to want to inject the fuel no more than 3 times. And when I say cold, I mean it hasn't been started in 2 or 3 days, which is not the case with our tools. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Another troubleshooting thing, the way you can tell if the chain is sharp is if you run your fingers along very, very lightly, you should feel the chain catch at your skin. And that's how you know that the chain is sharp. In addition to this chainsaw, we rent a 16, 18, 20, up to a 36-inch chainsaw. We do have landscaping, concrete tools, pressure washers, and air compressors, stump grinders, all of these things, and they're available to look at on our website at elpasotoolrental.com, or you could come into any of our 3 stores and check out our inventory.